Hello, I'm the CommanderZander. I remember it so that a stats critic doesn't have to, and neither should you. As you're all aware, it's been a little now over 2 years since the unfortunate passing of the great Roger Ebert, one half of the greatest dynamic duo of critics in the history of mankind. Of course, I'm referring to the other one being Gene Siskel. As you're probably aware, they came up with their own show called Siskel and Ebert, and that took place from the late 80s until 99 when Gene Siskel died. Roger Ebert kept it going, but eventually he obviously suffered his thyroid cancer, and thus he had to depart from the show as well before his passing in 2013. With that said, I want to pay tribute to these two critics because they set the standards for critiquers today that I don't think anyone could possibly match. And so today I'm going to review Siskel and Ebert. I'm going to take a look at one of their shows, and that way you get a chance to see what their expertise was, because it's way, way superior to the likes of me. So with that, I give you Siskel and Ebert. Here are the movies that they're looking at. I'll show you a couple of them. Yes, yes, I'm sure you like this one, kiddies. Another Batman and Robin review. You may applaud. I'm also going to show you Hercules, and I'm going to show you the ending to this one because it showed how hilarious they were. So this is the intro for every Siskel and Ebert. Gene Siskel, of course, was the critiquer for the Chicago Tribune. Roger Ebert for the Chicago Sun-Times. So the rivalry wasn't just on movies. It started with the paper war, and it carried on into their TV show. And they always seem to get into an argument. Even in the freaking intro, they get into an argument.
George Clooney takes over as Batman, and Robin, played by Chris O'Donnell, joins him in combating Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze in Batman and Robin, one of 5 new summer movies we'll be reviewing this week on Siskel and Ebert. I'm Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times.
And I'm Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune, and boy, was I shocked by the new Batman movie. It's so overproduced. Every scene is so action-filled that the movie does all of the thinking and emoting for us, and you just sit there looking at dazzling effects, yes, but you still feel bored. Add to that...
See, I would never come up with a description like that. That's the cleverness of Siskel and Ebert. So we get to see, guess who? George Clooney as Batman. The worst Batman in the history of mankind.
In the Gotham Museum of Natural History. He's trying to steal a giant diamond.
That doesn't look giant to me. And then again with these stupid puns. Alright, let's...
With her character, she spreads poison, but no one itches. They just swore.
Why all the gorgeous ones homicidal maniacs? Is it me?
Part of the byplay between Batman and Robin involves jealousy.
I'll let you see Siskel and Ebert at their finest when they bicker about the movie.
Well, I've already
nice scene.
Batman and Robin. The action sequences are overstuffed. They're burdened by wall-to-wall.
Now, Siskel and past Siskel and Ebert, when they reviewed Batman movies, loved them all. And then there's this abomination. He gave it a thumbs down. Roger Ebert, on the other hand, did not like any of the Batman movies. He gave every Batman movie a thumbs down, even the ones with Michael Keaton, which I thought was very disappointing.
It's true that the action sequences are so busy that you can't get involved in them. They're too hard to follow. It's like there's a pinball machine with all 5 balls on the machine at the same time. And as for Clooney as Batman, you know, I realize this time it doesn't matter who plays Batman.
Right.
I think they cast him according to the chin, which is all you can see when he has the costume on, because there's no real interest in the Batman and Robin characters. It's always the villains.
Yeah.
And this is what he said about the other Batman movies, too, and that's why I gave it a thumbs down. But in this one, Siskel agrees with him. I, for one, can vouch for that. The Nostalgia Critic can vouch for that. This is the worst Batman movie in the history of mankind.
There's another level of filmmaker than Joel Schumacher, and Tim Burton puts a psychological approach in his film.
And see, I like what Siskel talks about. He compares Joel Schumacher with Tim Burton. These two directors took the movies in different approaches, and I like that he brings that up in his critiquing. I absolutely admired that out of him, because not a lot of people are going to compare the two directors.
And it's kind of a disappointment as back. Actually, I did like Uma Thurman, though, as Poison Ivy.
Who doesn't love Uma Thurman?
If it's Poison Ivy, why not have somebody scratch? I mean, they even blew that obvious thing.
Okay, coming up next, Hercules, the new Disney animated feature.
Hercules will be the other movie that they reviewed that I'll show you. And it kind of ties into what happens at the end of the show, at least on this episode.
I'm an action figure.
A sly little in-joke about action figures there, as Hercules, the Greek god of strength, has a chat with his father Zeus in Hercules, the sassy and entertaining new full-length animated feature.
Sassy?
This is the first
I didn't think it
time
was
Disney
sassy.
animators have pondered Greek mythology for a subject, and they found a wealth of rich material, including a first-rate villain. His name is Hades. His voice is done by James Woods, and his hair turns blue or red, reflecting his emotions like a mood ring.
What? The fates are here and you didn't tell me?
See, I like how he explains it for those who would never get it off the bat. Why Hades turns red. Blue means cool, red means he's on fire, as in he's steaming mad. And oh, by the way, you get to see Hercules fighting off the three-headed monster. Oh, by the way, spoiler alert! They both, well, Roger Ebert liked the movie, so he gave it a thumbs up. Siskel, I believe, gave it a thumbs down. But at least Roger Ebert and I agree on a movie.
That's Danny DeVito's voice is filled with little satyr. The evil Hades recruits a beautiful creature named Megara, or
seems fitting that Danny DeVito would play
in this scene is Pegasus. Hercules is
would play him.
who is friendly,
Because he's
but
puny,
not very bright.
just like Danny DeVito is.
How'd you get mixed up with the
Same men with Rose. Well, you know how men are. Having no means yes, and get lost means taking it.
Alright, I'm going to skip ahead so I can show you their critiquing of it. So, here we go.
And the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and although it lacks the depth and emotion of Hunchback, it is lighter and more playful with a touch that is a real delight.
Well, again, Roger, I was disappointed by a big summer movie, and on the drawing scale, I think you've named the one thing that I did like and the one character that I do like a lot, and that's Hades. It's well done, and James Woods is very
Hades
good.
did do a great.
He does this
Hades was terrific. James Woods did a great job with him.
as well.
Yeah.
And Scar's angular look is good.
But I personally like the movie.
The film, to me, is soft, rounded animation that I associate with the wannabes of Disney that are so lame. And I'm thinking of the world of Zeus. And I'm thinking of the drawing of Zeus and also Hercules himself. Compare that to The Little Mermaid, I think an underrated film. And compare Zeus, who is a complete bore compared to Triton, King Triton in The Little
Yeah, but they
Mermaid.
don't use Zeus as much, so it doesn't really matter if he's a bore or not. He's rarely appearing anyways.
Song here that you can hum, I can't hum.
And it doesn't matter if there's a song that you can't hum for Disney.
I would put Little Mermaid right up at the top along with Beauty and the Beast.
Exactly.
And I would put this one notch down, but I certainly still recommend it.
No,
I
no.
had a good time. I enjoyed myself.
I
like the mythology. I like the characters. I like the whole tone of the
But Roger, respond to some of my criticisms, because I'm getting the sense that you think I'm right. The songs are not memorable. The drawing of the world of Zeus.
I never know if the songs are memorable till I hear them 3 or 4 times. Look at you telling me that Hakuna Matata was going to be on everybody's lips for the rest of the
It is, and everyone who heard you said it knows it and can sing
No,
it.
it's not true.
Okay.
Well, in any event,
That's a ringing defense, by the way, folks, of this movie.
I would be happy to
Bringing
go
up an
on and
overview.
tell you once again that I think this is an extremely entertaining,
You have it-
very pleasant, bright film. It doesn't matter if Zeus is that interesting, because Zeus is not a major character in the way that
Exactly. They rarely showed Zeus at all, so it doesn't matter if he's a bore or not. They rarely showed him, so that's a moot point to say that he was a
Julia
bore.
Roberts returns.
Alright, I'm going to skip ahead to the ending because I frankly found that hilarious when...
That's okay. Don't forget, you can now check our votes, and here are our reviews of recent movies.
Yeah, I can see a future.
They fall under the... I like Hercules. I like the thing to grant her wish to be buried in the village
So,
cemetery.
at the end of every show, they recap the movies that they reviewed and give them a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Obviously, with Batman and Robin, they both gave it a thumbs down. It was a split vote
Movies this week.
Yes.
with
My
Hercules.
best friend's wedding, again, is the romantic...
And this is what I want to show you, the humor.
And I know, Gene, that families are going to like Hercules. I liked it. I went with relatives. They liked it.
Don't play
People
that
don't
game
like
with
it.
me because I'll stand my family against yours, and my kids didn't like it. If you
They
want to
didn't
play
like
that.
it?
Nope.
They didn't?
Those are
Send
great.
them over to Uncle Roger's house, and I'll explain it
These
to
are
them.
wonderful. You know what? I can see a future.
They've fallen under the sway of the wrong film critic.
Roger, we've got a sequel that will outlive us.
What's that?
My kids versus your family.
Sounds like that would be.
We don't even have to change the title of the show.
Right. Well, we would, but
Oh, God. See, that's the humor that Siskel and Ebert bring to their reviews. And he just popped it on his mind when they're recapping Hercules and going at it again with that one. So, that's a taste of Siskel and Ebert. I mean, obviously, they were terrific. And, oh, by the way, if you go to siskelandebert.org, you can watch virtually all their reviews, which is astonishing considering that they started this in 1986. So, yeah. But I thought these two did a terrific job. They go in depth with their reviews. They define movies. They are movies. That's their passion. And they show off that passion every single week when they did this. And I thought they were terrific. And they definitely set the standards for future critiquers and current critiquers like the Nostalgia Critic or myself. And I don't think anyone could possibly top Siskel and Ebert. So, if you get a chance, you definitely need to watch those Siskel and Ebert shows. And you can go to siskelandebert.org to watch the reviews. I'm the CommanderZander, and Siskel and Ebert, you'll always be remembered.